2. Welcome back to reading lessons. Now, if you remember, our learning objective all week has been to retrieve information, and we're going to be doing the same again today. We're going to be sticking with the text that we've looked at in the previous sessions about all those explorers, and our final activity based on this text is going to be to retrieve information that we want to retrieve. So maybe our favourite facts, and we're going to be presenting them in an interesting way. Before we start, we are going to have a little look at see what some children have been up to. Here we go. On Monday, it was lovely to see some work coming in from children who had taken on board the challenge we set in our Zoom meetings last week. They have been retrieving their own information about the different explorers and making some posters. You can see here that Maisie in 2SH has created one on Marco Polo. She's used a bright orange background to make her facts and pictures really pop out. I love how she's presented her information really clearly. Well done, Maisie. We have another beautiful Marco Polo information sheet here from Penny in 2SH. I love the way that she has written Marco Polo's name in large colourful letters at the top so that the reader definitely knows who her information is about. She's written nice, clear information. And okay, let's warm up by reminding ourselves of our new exciting words that have come from our text this week. The first word from me, pole. Aspiration. Say it with me. Well done, ladies. Pole. 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 How many syllables are in the word pole? Pole. Just the one. Now, I had my action for pole, which I'm going to show you now. Don't forget, we're thinking about the North and South Pole. Maybe you've got yours. Let's do it together now. North, South, poles. And the next word is inspirational. When someone or something inspires you to do the same or do something different yourself. Inspirational. 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 How many syllables are in the word inspirational? Inspirational. 5. Okay, again, I had my action for it. You do yours. Inspirational. Let's look at that next word. Europeans. Say it with me. Europeans. 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 How many syllables are in the word Europeans? Europeans. 4. Excellent. Now, remember, we talked about Europeans being anybody who lives in the continent of Europe, which includes the United Kingdom, where we are. So I pointed to myself. You do your action now. European. And our final word, fastest. Say it with me. Fastest. 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 How many syllables are in the word fastest? Fastest. Just the 2. Now, remember, if you're the fastest, no one is faster than you. You do your action, I'll do mine. Fastest. Okay, we're just going to remind ourselves of the text. I'm going to read it, you can read it along with me, or you can pause it afterwards and have a look through at your own time. Here we go. Marco Polo was born in 1254 and was one of the most famous explorers of all time. He travelled through Central Asia and China, seeing places many Europeans hadn't seen before. His stories were written down in a book called The Travels of Marco Polo, and this made him famous. Roald Amundsen was the first person to reach the South Pole. He reached it in 1911. He also reached the North Pole. He was the first man to reach both poles. He died in 1928 after disappearing in the Arctic. Ernest Shackleton is one of the most inspirational explorers of the 20th century. His goal was to reach the South Pole. Unfortunately, his boat became stuck in ice and he and his men had to row and walk hundreds of miles to find help. Shackleton never gave up. Ellen Mcarthur is a British sailor. She saved her school dinner money up so she could buy her own boat. When she was 19 years old, Ellen sailed around Great Britain on her own. In 2004, she became the fastest person to sail around the world on her own. Now, our learning objective this week has been to retrieve information from the text, and we had to go at that yesterday. We're just going to remind ourselves of those steps of success for how to successfully retrieve information from a text. The first thing we need to do, if there's a question, read it twice. Then we know what information we're looking for. You can also underline keywords or phrases in the question. Then you definitely know which words you're looking for, because the next step is to skim and scan the text to find the key word or phrase from the question. So you're looking for that word. Once you've found that word, read around it and then think your answer in your head. Once you're happy with your answer, you can write it down and try to use those words from the text, because then you're making sure that your answer is absolutely correct. Okay, let's have a look at what we're going to be doing today. Let's have a look at our chilies. Now, we're not looking at questions today. We looked at questions yesterday, but today we're just going to be choosing our favourite information, really. Chili 1. Retrieve 3 key facts about your chosen explorer. So you can rewind the video back, find the bit of text that is your favourite explorer, and find 3 facts about them. Now, you could video yourself telling me those facts. You could just tell a grown-up those 3 facts, or you could have a go at writing them down to send to me. It doesn't matter which one you choose, but remember, don't try and remember them. You're retrieving the information from the text. 2, Chili. Retrieve your favourite fact about each explorer. And I'll be having a go at that in a moment. So you're going to look at each of the explorers and have a favourite fact about each one. So that will be 4 facts, because we had 4 explorers. Chili 3. I want you to select 2 explorers. Just 2. Maybe your favourite 2. And then I want you to retrieve 3 key facts about each one. So that will be 6 facts in total. Then I would like you to use those 6 facts to explain to me which explorer you think is the best. Okay, I'm going to have a go at Chili 2 and a way that you might want to present it. Okay, so I'm going to be having a go at Chili 2. For Chili 2, we need to write a favourite fact about each of the explorers. So 4 facts. I'm going to start with Marco Polo. And remember, in our journals, we can present our work in lots of different ways. I'm going to show you how I would present it, but you don't have to do it like this. You can be as creative as you like. First of all, I want to tell my reader, who am I writing about? So I'm going to write Marco Polo's name as a little heading. It is important he has capital letters for his name. So capital M for Marco, capital P for Polo. Because I want his name to stand out, I'm going to make it pop. There's a little bubble around it. I'm doing mine in black pen, but remember, you can do yours in colour. You know we love a little bit of colour in our reading journals. Now, what's my favourite fact about Marco Polo? There are lots. We can go back into the video and have a look at that piece of information and retrieve some facts. He was born in 1254. It's a good fact. It's information. It's not my favourite. He was one of the most famous explorers of all time. That's a good fact. He travelled through Central Asia and China, and he saw many places that Europeans hadn't seen before. All fantastic facts. But my favourite fact of all about Marco Polo is that his stories were written down in a book, because I think to be an explorer and then to have all your adventures put down in a book must be a great feeling, because everyone can read about what you've seen then. So I'm going to use the text to help me come up with my fact. His stories were written down in a book. So I'm going to start my sentence. Remember, it is still a sentence that needs capital letters and full stops. His stories. Not just one story, so that Y gets turned into an I with IS to make it a plural. His stories were turned into a book. Now that looks nice and neat. I'm pretty happy with it, but needs a little bit of something, doesn't it? So I'm going to have a go at drawing what I think Marco Polo's book was like. I could even retrieve another fact. It's called The Travels of Marco Polo. The Travels, so I can make that my front cover. Travels of Marco Polo. Looks like someone's left the book upside down, so this will be the back cover. Maybe there'll be a picture of Marco Polo in his lovely hat, maybe next to a ship or something, and maybe a bit of a blurb as well. Okay, there's my information about Marco Polo. I've retrieved the fact his stories were turned into a book. Now, next, I'm going to write about Roald Amundsen. Again, I'm going to write his name down as a little heading. Bit of a trickier name to spell. Don't forget to use the video to help you. Roald Amundsen. Again, I'm going to do like my little bubble around his name to make it stand out. You can do yours in colour, but I've just got my black pen here. Okay, what's my favourite fact about Roald Amundsen? He was the first person to reach the South Pole. Cool fact. He reached it in 1911. Okay. He also reached the North Pole. He was a very busy explorer. He was the first man to reach both poles, and he died in 1928 after disappearing in the Antarctic. Now, my favourite fact is that he was the first man to reach both poles. That's a pretty big achievement. So once again, I'm retrieving that fact from the text, and I'm going to use the words from the text to help me write my fact down. He was the first man to reach both poles. I'm just lifting the sentence, really. He was the first man to reach both poles. And for this fact, I'm going to have a go at drawing the world. Oh, now it's not going to be very accurate. We've got North Pole and South Pole. We might have maybe continent of Africa there, and then Europe. Here we are, the United Kingdom. Might have the Americas over here. Yeah, I'm trying. It's not very accurate, but I'm labelling the North Pole and the South Pole. There we go. Now, I would, of course, go on to do the same for Ernest Shackleton and Ellen MacArthur. Now, it's up to you how you present it. I've done it like this. You might want to do pictures of the four explorers, and maybe you could have speech bubbles coming out of their mouths saying, I was the first person to reach both poles. You might want to do it like that. That's fine. You might want to do it with pictures of the explorers next to your facts. However you choose to present your work, that is okay. And that is the same for the 3 chili challenge and of course the 1 chili challenge as well. If you would like to do a little presentation and send it to us at the Year 2 email address, that would be fantastic because we love seeing your work coming into us. Now, in a moment, I'd like you to have a go at this. You can pause the video and rewind back to go and have a look at the facts about each explorer. And then maybe later you can come back and listen to a next couple of chapters of The Boy and a Bear in a Boat. They had a little bit of a problem last time where they were stuck on the mermaid. I wonder what's going to happen next. Take care. Oops. It wasn't a very loud bang, but it was loud enough to rouse the bear. He unfolded himself and stood smartly up, turning to see the boy approaching at some speed carrying the suitcase. "Did you hear that?" said the bear. "What?" said the boy. "That bang." No, I don't think so. Look, I was thinking, you're right, it would be wrong to take this ship. Maybe if there was a lifeboat on board somewhere, then we could borrow that, and it would be quite cosy, more like the Harriet, and you might feel better about it." "No, there's nothing. I looked," said the bear. "I'm afraid we'll have to take the ship. I don't like it, but it does look like there's been no one on board for a long old while, so hopefully there'll be no harm done." "No lifeboats at all?" said the boy. "No," said the bear. He looked at the boy more closely. "Why is your face so dirty?" he said. "Is it?" said the boy. "Yeah, really black." "Oh, that's odd," said the boy, licking a hand and rubbing at his cheek. "Looks like soot," said the bear. Said the boy. "Are you sure you didn't hear a bang earlier?" "Thunder, maybe?" "No, not thunder. I know thunder when I hear it." The bear stared hard at the boy now, assessing the evidence in his dirty face, his fidgeting manner, and his restless expression. "What have you done?" "Nothing," said the boy, looking anywhere except the bear's eyes. "Really?" said the bear. "Well," said the boy, "I just thought I'd make you some tea." "Oh," said the bear, "because I thought it might cheer you up." So I tried to light your stove." "Oh dear," said the bear. "It's a bit tricky, that stove, isn't it?" said the boy, adjusting his stance as the deck sloped to one side beneath his feet. "Yes, it takes a bit of getting used to," said the bear. Somewhere above them there was a loud kerfuffle of flapping wings, which turned into a steady fading flap. Neither of them looked up to watch the bird's departure. "And did the explosion make a very big hole in the ship?" asked the bear. "Quite big, yes," said the boy. "Sorry." "I wondered why my feet were getting wet," said the bear. The sea, having very poor table manners, swallowed down the mermaid with rude haste. The hole in the hull that the boy's accident with the stove had made quickly widened as water surged into it, tearing free great chunks of wood. The vessel filled with water and plummeted down. The bear managed to hang on to the suitcase as they abandoned ship, but the sacks of food, heavy to begin with, quickly became saturated, tugged themselves free of the bear's grip and sank down. One half-full jar of marmalade bobbed back up to the surface, but the rest of the food followed the mermaid down into the deep, dark depths. The sinking hull sucked at the sea above it, and downward tide pulled hard at the boy's legs. The bear threw a thick, furry arm around him and held him up as the churning water slapped insolently at their faces. They kicked and flapped and spluttered, and eventually the waters calmed around them. They floated, the boy gasping for breath, the bear sturdy as an island, amid scatterings of barrels, torn planks, and ripped sailcloth. Somewhere, high and far away, a bright blue bird said, "Gark." "What do we do now?" said the boy. "Better swim," said the bear. "You remember the rock on the map?" "Yes." "Well, that's not far. We'll go there. It's quite a big rock, I think. Almost a small island. Might be quite nice, you never know." "And you know where it is?" said the boy. "Yes," said the bear with confidence. "This way." He raised a paw above the surface and pointed with a small but certain gesture. "Okay," said the boy. They put the suitcase on a fragment of the mermaid's hull that was floating nearby, and holding on to it, kicked their legs and made slow progress, in the direction that the bear had indicated. "So it might have trees and food and water and stuff, this island," said the boy. "Maybe," said the bear. "I've never been, so I can't be sure. It's rather out the way. I'm not sure anyone's ever been there, actually." "Oh, right," said the boy. "So if we're the first to go onto it, do we get to name it?" "I'm not sure," said the bear. "Maybe." Yes, why not?" "Great," said the boy. "We can name it after me." They both thought about this for a moment, though in different ways. "Unless it's horrible," said the boy. "Then we can name it after you." "Thanks," said the bear. "You're welcome," said the boy. They kicked on. They didn't say much more, as the boy was soon too exhausted to speak. After a while, the bear suggested the boy should climb onto his back and rest a while, so he did. The sun was sinking now, and the boy nestled his face into the fur between the bear's shoulder blades. His wet shirt was beginning to dry a little in the still warm sun, and there was more heat rising from the bear. Despite the desperate situation, the boy felt strangely cosy. He was drowsy now, his eyelids dropping and then springing back open. He focused on the bear's fur close against his face, each hair sharply defined in the golden light, then blurring again as exhaustion pushed him forward to sleep. He could feel the bear's slow, strong heartbeat bumping up against his chest with a comforting, steady rhythm. He could hear that bear was humming a tune. He tried to make it out, but it was too quiet. It could have been anything. He closed his eyes to concentrate better, and the darkness hugged him to sleep. Now, I wonder what will happen when the boy wakes up. Will they have made dry land? I wonder if we'll find out tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.